Hello everyone, welcome back. So in today's lesson we're going to go over some pretty basic content, as this is probably something you may have already learned in year 7, but I need to cover it because it's part of the booklet. So let's get started. So we're just going to look at exercise 3.1, which is called solid shapes, and we need to fill in the word from the word bank into here, right? So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and there's 8 words. So just make sure you fill in the right word, and you can use your dictionary if you're not sure what some of these words mean. So I'm just going to pick a few and just kind of go through it with you. There are two main families of solid shapes. We have prisms and pyramids. So as you already know, you've done what prisms are. You've learned how to find the volume. You've learned how to find the surface area. Pyramids, on another hand, you have not learned how to find the volume and surface area. You may learn this in year 9. But you probably know what a pyramid is, right? You'll find them in Egypt. So let's just look at the first one. A cross section of a prism is made by cutting a what across it? Well, this is called a cross section. And if you still remember, to find the volume of a prism, you find the area of the cross section multiplied by the depth. So to find the cross section of a prism is made by cutting a, if I was to look at it, I would think it's cutting a slice, right? Cutting a slice across it. Alright, so I'm not going to do all these questions because I don't want to ruin the fun for you, because this probably is a fun exercise. Now let's look at the next one. Parts of a solid. A flat surface of a solid is called a face. Well, I'm sure you know that. Two faces meet along an edge, so that's this line there. This is an edge. Right. And the edges meet at a vertex. So this is called a vertex. Now some of you will probably call this a corner, but it's fine. I think it's better to call this a vertex. And these are the things that you need to fill out. So I'm not going to ruin the fun for you again. Next one says naming solid shapes. Okay, now we have to give names to these solid shapes. So use the word bank to match each solid shape. Each name is used only once. Okay. So just for a heads up, I reckon you guys should already know B, D, E, and I. Now these are the shapes you probably should already know how to find the volume and surface area of. Probably not I. The I is a little bit more challenging, but for these three you definitely should know. Now there are some shapes which I have not taught you, but I have a feeling you probably should already know what they are called. So for A is called a cone. So if you just think of an ice cream, if you turn this upside down, you'll get an ice cream cone. So this is called a cone. C, well, this is called a cylinder, if you haven't seen this word. You can think of C as a kind of a circular prism, if that makes sense. Because this is this is a triangular prism, this is a circular prism, but we call this a cylinder. For F and H, these are pyramids, right? Now to determine what kind of pyramid it is, you have to look at the base. So for this one, the base is a triangle. So then it's what? Triangular pyramid. And this one is what? This one is probably a square. So it's a square pyramid, right? Okay. Now J, you probably know. K, well, K is also a prism, which you already learned. G, now G is called a sphere. For those of you that haven't learned this, it's basically a ball shape. And L is also a pyramid. And the type of pyramid it is, just look at the shape at the bottom. This is a pentagon. So it should be a pentagonal pyramid, right? Okay, so hopefully this exercise, there's no big dramas. You basically are given a bunch of shapes that are either prisms or pyramids, with the exception of G. G is the only special shape there. And 3.3, faces, vertices, and edges. So I hope you guys do not struggle with this topic. As you can see, a face is the flat surface, so that's the face. In fact, when you learn the surface area topic, you're finding the areas of all the faces. So surface area, face area, same thing. An edge is a line where two faces meet. Okay, so when you have two faces, say you have face 1, face 2, the edge is this line here, right? It's where the two faces meet. Right? So it's like as if these two faces are best friends or something. A vertex is a corner of the solid where the edges meet. Okay, so if you have, say, this edge and this edge, they meet at a vertex. So in other words, it's like a corner, right? So vertex, you can think of it as a corner. For each shape, write down the two-dimensional shapes, which are the faces. Write in brackets how many faces have each shape. Okay, so we know that. Okay, so in a way, this is kind of like your surface area topic, where you have to kind of know what each surface is, and then name the shape. So a cube, if you look at a cube, right? A cube is going to have 6 of the same faces. Oops. Right, so then what you do is, well, each face is going to be a square, so they write square, and there's 6 squares, so then they write a 6. Alright, a rectangular prism. So what does a rectangular prism have? Okay, so let's take a look. So rectangular prism is going to have what? 6 rectangles, right? So we write rectangle. Rectangles, 6. Triangular prism. The triangular prism is something that looks like this. Now, do we write 6 triangles for triangular prism? I don't think so, right? If you still remember from your surface area exercise, a triangular prism has 2 triangles. And then, well, what else does it have? Well, it's got 3 rectangles as well, right? One over here, one over there, and one at the bottom, right? So it's basically 2 on the sides and 1 at the bottom. So you can write rectangles, 3. And I'll let you to do the rest, okay? Because I don't want to ruin the fun for you. Right, number of faces, vertices, and edges of each solid shape. Okay, so basically just draw the shape out and just count. So that's how you can do these. So I'll just pick one of them for you. I'll pick the trapezoidal prism because I know trapeziums are always confusing for a lot of students. So this is a trapezoidal prism. Okay. So, how many faces does it have? So it's got 1 at the top, 1 at the bottom, 1 on the left, right, front, back. So it's going to have 6. How many vertices? In other words, corners. 4 at the top, 4 at the bottom. That's 8. Number of the edges. Okay, so this is the annoying one to do, but basically you have to count all of the sides. So there's 4 at the top, 4 at the bottom, and then 4 that's kind of vertical-ish. So that's what, 12. Alright, so I'll let you do the fun part of this exercise and count all the faces, vertices, and edges. Okay? So hopefully this topic has no dramas. I mean, after all, it's 3.1, 3.2, and 3.3. So these are actually, if anything, we should be doing these exercises first rather than doing surface area and volume. But from the way that the booklet is structured, we're doing these at the end. So don't ask me why, but that's the way it is. Okay, so that's all for today. Thank you for listening.